morning, yogis. Welcome, welcome. Right, it is 8 o'clock. Let's go. We're going to begin lying down, so come to lie down. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Nice and steady this morning. Just what we need on a Sunday morning. And by all means, if you want to just lie here for 30 minutes, you do that. Take some breaths. Ease down. Okay. So just think about how you've laid down. Take the heels a little bit wider than the hips. Let the toes drop out to the sides. Maybe even give the feet a little swish. Let that swish travel up to the thighs and rock on the pelvis a little. So the hips are nice and heavy. The lower half of you is at ease. And then tuck the shoulders towards one another and down the back. And naturally, that will broaden through the front of the chest. The arms will just rest down. Hands slightly off your mat, palms up. Natural curl to the fingers. Can you imagine someone just giving you a gentle press on the front of your shoulders just to really settle them? And then finally, think about lengthening through the back of the neck, softening the skin around the eyes, relaxing the jaw. Honing in on those places that might just be holding a little bit of tension this morning. As best as you can, softening and relaxing. And then just allow stillness to wash over you and check in with how you are this morning. Notice how you feel. Knowing you exactly where you need to be the next half an hour or so is just about spending a bit of time with yourself, your whole body, your mind, your breath. Moving in ways that feel good. That's all we're going to do. If you haven't already, just start to notice the breath. How's it moving? How's it flowing this morning? If it feels good, you might want to place the hands on the belly just to connect to the breath. Feel the belly expand on the inhale. Feel the belly lower on the exhale. Let's take a few together. So nice long exhale wherever you are. Then breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3. Breathe out for 3, 2, 1. Good. Keep those up. Inhaling. Belly rises and exhaling. Belly falls. As best as you can, stay close to that breath this morning. Let it guide you. If something doesn't feel good, if the mind wanders, always return back to the breath. That's your like guide, really. Start with the breath. The movement, everything else comes after the breath. On that note, next inhale, take a full body stretch. Make yourself super long. Oh, nice. Maybe spread the fingers and the toes, point the feet. Maybe move the wrists and the ankles a little bit. And then as you exhale, do the opposite. Bring the knees in, give yourself a little hug. You might bring the forehead up to the knees. Just notice, how you're drawing your body in. Maybe there's a little movement or sway from side to side. Do that with the breath now. So inhale, reach everything away. And exhale, draw everything in. Enjoy doing that a few times. Your version, the heels might be on the floor as you reach out, or they might be hovering in space. You might just bring the legs in, or you might lift the head and shoulders. Just start to move with the breath in and out. Nice. Next time you're drawn in, let's just pause there for a second. Allow the shoulders to come down and just kick the heels up to the sky. If that's a little bit much, keep a softness to the knees. And really think about the pelvis being nice and heavy. You might even move a little bit here. Try and feel a nice weightiness. The heels are stacked above the hips. And you can either kind of softly hold the backs of the thighs if you need to, or it might be nice just to bring the arms out wide, like a T shape with the palms up. If you've chosen to practice outside this morning, it's quite nice to peek open the eyes and look at the feet just standing on the sky. And a change in perspective. When you're ready, bend the knees, circle them a few times, enjoy that little massage of the low back. And then however you want to get there, we're going to meet seated. So you could roll along the spine, or you might just push yourself up through a sideways motion. Yogi's choice. See how you get on. Okay, nice. Notice how it feels to be seated. Cross at the ankles or kneel. I really don't mind what feels good this morning. Give yourself a shoulder roll. Sit nice and tall. Where are the hands resting down? Are they on the knees, the mid-thigh, the lap, the hip creases? What feels good? Notice how the breath is moving now as you sit. On your next exhale, let the head drop down. Heavy, really heavy. Feel the back of the neck. And just start to gently sway the head from side to side. No rush here. Think about the ear kind of heading over to the top of the shoulder. And there might be some little crunches and clicks. This is fine. Just go gently. There's lots of stringy muscles around the neck area, very close to the surface. So we just go a little bit more gently here. Once you're ready, just pause on one side. Doesn't really matter which side. Think about really extending the side of the neck, and maybe you can feel that through the top of the shoulder. If you want a little bit more, you can reach out the bottom hand on the side you're stretching. You can drape the other hand to the side of the temple. But again, these are all extra choices to intensify that, or it might already be enough. If you're not feeling much, just play around with the angle of the chin, ever so slightly. Roll the shoulders back, lean back a little, sometimes that helps. Good. When you're ready, drop back to center, and you'll really notice a difference now in the sides. And we just do that all on the other side whenever you're ready. And you don't have to do exactly the same on each side. You might notice there's more tension, less tension. Right side, left side, very different. How's the breath? Notice if you've held the breath because you're like, oh, there's tension in my neck and shoulder. Get out of the head, come back to the breath and just feel it. No judgment. If there is, we're sorting it out. Don't worry. Good. When you're ready, lower the head down. And again, now just place each hand on your fingertips just to the sides of you, just to support you as you go a few more rolls from side to side with the neck. And it might be that you start to circle the head entirely. So you go all the way back, almost like you're making a full circle now. Take that in both directions. Nice. And then back to center. Hands are going to come in front of you, interlace the fingers together, drop the chin again, draw the knuckles away, hollow out the chest, extend the arms forward. Spread the shoulder blades. And you might even notice you're rolling back on your sit bones a little. That's fine if you want to make it a little bit more exaggerated. As you inhale, roll forward on the sit bones, release the hands, reach them behind you and open through the front of the chest. And we're just reaching the fingertips back. If that's a little bit much, you can press into the low back, or you can kind of land the fingertips on the earth just to help you out here. But we're squeezing shoulder blades now. Nice. As you inhale, look up, reach the arms up, take like a full body stretch, fingertips to the sky, maybe looking up. The shoulders are elevated, you can feel space in the waist. And then exhale, come back down to center. Let's do that with the breath. So inhale, knuckles away, chin to chest, round, spread shoulder blades. Inhale, fingertips wide, reach and squeeze. Good. Breathe in, take the arms up, look up. And exhale back down to where we started. Right, one breath, one movement. Inhale, knuckles away, chin to chest, reach forward. Exhale, fingertips wide, squeeze shoulder blades. Inhale, arms come up and reach. Exhale, back down. Good. Just two more on your own with your breath. Inhale, prayer away. Exhale, fingertips wide. How are the shoulders feeling here? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, back to center. Final one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Listen carefully. As you breathe in and reach the arms up, let's stay here, hook the thumbs, and just really start to lift kind of the waist here, or the rib cage away from the hips, so you've got some space in the waist. And then when you feel ready, just start to move from side to side. So it's almost like you're leaning and reaching to the right, and then you're leaning and reaching to the left. Can you soften the elbows a little bit? Nice. Next time you're over to the right, doesn't matter what side really, you're just going to pause here. If you're over to the right hand's going to come down to the ground to help you out. And you're going to drop the left hand almost down the back, almost either resting on the neck or the middle part of the top of the back, so the elbow points up. Nice. Just notice how that feels. Can you breathe into the left side of the body? Can you really plug the left hip down? Good. Listen carefully. Come back up to center just a little bit. I'm going to do some twisting here. So that left elbow is going to kind of pan behind you as you look to the left, and then it's going to come forward as you almost look down to the right. So it's almost like we're bringing it towards our right elbow crease and then up towards the sky. But you take this in your own way. Nice. Couple more. Exhale to come down. Inhale to reach up. Nice. Next time you reach up, let's come back to center. Bring both hands behind the head. And again, let's just do some twisting. So over to the left and over to the right. Notice there'll be a little bit of difference in your sides. We're going to come back to this movement and just go really gently here. No rush. Navel stays forward, knees stay forward. Good. Come back to center. Release the arms down. Just rest the hands on the knees. If you want, you can switch the cross of the legs just for a little bit of a change. And then hands to prayer or interlace the fingers. And let's just do that movement again. You already know. Chin to chest as you inhale, knuckles away. Exhale, fingertips wide. Nice. Oh, feel that opening to the chest. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, hook the thumbs and just go over to the left side now. Remember, you can stay here. We'll start to float the left hand down and drape the right hand just behind the head, landing it middle, upper back, neck, whatever feels good. Notice how the waist feels here, maybe even the back of the arm. With each exhale, can you just ease a little bit more into the stretch? Don't forget about plugging down that right sit bone. How's the breath? Is there any tension creeping into the face? Nice. Inhale, back to center. Same thing. Hand comes behind the head a little bit more. And just taking those movements with the elbow. So inhale, it comes up almost like towards 2 o'clock. And then exhale towards the inner elbow of that bottom hand. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out to come down. And you can expand or kind of constrict this movement as much as you want to. Just do 2 more for me. Great. Next time you come up, we're going to come back to that hands behind head position. This time, let's move into a twist towards the right and just pause there. Now you can stay with the hands behind the head or yogi's choice. Left hand can come to right thigh, knee. Right hand can stay behind the head, almost like you're trying to tease that elbow back a little more. Or some of you might want to float that hand down to the earth, almost like to mimic the spine. It will make a difference. So play around with that option, hand down or hand staying behind head. The left hand can really start to kind of bring you round. Let's all just briefly release the fingertips behind us of that right hand. Sit a little bit taller on the inhale. And then as you exhale, take that right hand, sweep it forward, almost like you're drawing a semicircle. And it's almost like it's going to reach towards the same direction as your left thigh. So there's a twist going on here and a side stretch. We're still holding that right thigh with the left hand, and the right hand is now reaching towards the front at a diagonal. This is quite an intense stretch, so notice the breath. You might need to lift up on the inhale. Good, give me one more breath. Listen carefully as you exhale, come back to center, keep the left hand where it is, right hand does the same on the other side, so it's like you're crossing the elbows. Good. You can stay here or you can come into eagle arms. So your kind of forearms wrap around, your hands come into prayer. And just do a few seated cat-cows here. If you've got your eagle arms, it's almost like your elbows and forearms are drawing up and down, like in a straight line. And you can exaggerate these spinal movements as much or as little as you want. Just 2 more. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. On the next exhale, make that your last one. Come back to center, release the arms, take them wide like cactus arms. Take a big reach up, inhale, and exhale, float the hands down behind the head again. And we'll go to the left. So all the way over to the left. Just keep the hands on the head for a moment. Get into the twist and then start to add on. So remember, this time the right hand's going to come across the body, reaching to the left knee. You're going to tease that elbow behind you a little bit more. Check in with the breath. How's the breath? Remember, you can stay here, or that hand might mimic the spine. See how you feel. Yogi's choice for all of this. With each inhale, can you think about sitting a little bit taller? With each exhale, can you think about gently twisting? Okay, let's get into that kind of side stretch. So everyone float the hands down behind you just for a moment and then sweep that arm. Ah, lovely. It's one of my favorite. It's an intense one, but it's one of my favorite ones. And use the breath to make little micro movements. Inhale, lift, create space. Exhale, go into that space. Good, just one more here. Lovely, come back to center, cross the elbows again. This time the opposite hand will be on top, so left hand goes across to right knee. You can either hold the shoulders or create your eagle arms again. So yogi's choice, and just come back to those cat-cows. Can we exaggerate a little bit more this time? Can you really roll back on the sit bones? Can you really come forward on the sit bones and lift the fingertips? We get different sensations when the legs aren't as involved, you know? Okay, last one. And then when you're ready, cactus arms one more time. Breathe in and then exhale, take the hands forward. Let's find our way to tabletop. And you should really enjoy kind of kicking out the legs. They've been crossed for a while, so do what you need to. Little shake, little extension. Maybe a tuck of the toes, send the sit bones back to the heels. Good, okay, so from here, back to tabletop, maybe a couple of cat-cows, but you've done quite a lot of that forwards and backwards motion, so maybe be a bit more explorative. Go to the side, circle, swish. Draw circles with the shoulders and hips. Let's take a few breaths doing some different movements. And when you're ready, find a little bit of stillness. Let's tuck all 10 toes, hover the knees just for a moment, push the floor away. We should feel nice and active in the shoulders and chest. We've been working the top half of us this morning. So this should feel space and strength and stability there. When you're ready, extend the legs, lift the hips to the sky, and just take your first downward dog. And just enjoy your downward dog. This inversion, first thing, Sunday morning, head heavy. Find stillness or walk it out, do what you need to. Good, and then either from here or all fours, yogi's choice, just float the right leg back and away. Move the leg a little bit. Point, flex the toes, circle the ankle, bend and extend the knee. Maybe draw a circle with the knee. Just spend a few moments moving that right leg in any ways that feel good. And like I said, if it's too much in downward dog, you come to all fours and you move the leg here. There's no rules. How are you moving your right leg this morning? What does it need? Nice. Then when you feel ready, from all fours or downward dog, just look forward to that space between the hands and step the right foot through. Drop the back knee. Low lunge, but before we hold our low lunge, let's just move forwards and backwards a few times. Breathing in to come forward, breathing out to go back. And then when you feel ready to pause, you're going to pause. Hands can stay forward on the floor. Hands might be inside the front foot. You might come up a little bit with the torso just to extend the left hip flexor, to enjoy that space again through the left side. Same with the arms. What do you want to do with them? Do you want to rest them on the low back? Do you want to reach them high? Just about 3 more breaths here in your low lunge. Right foot forward. Maybe close the eyes, focus on the breath. Good, listen carefully. Hands are going to come down inside the foot, so just heel toe that foot out a little bit. If you want, you can tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. We're just going to inhale to reach up and exhale to come down. Almost think about the elbow and the ankle bone kind of making friends. Just 3 of those. Inhale up, exhale down. And my right toes are turned out a little bit here. Nice. Once you've done 3, both hands down. Everyone tuck back toes now if you can. Big step forward. Yogi squat. And you're just going to kind of hang out here a little bit. Some of you might want to move the hips up and down. You might want to be doing a dangle here. You're going to get a second go at this yogi squat. So some of you might want to take a forward fold here. That's absolutely fine. Or you're bouncing up and down. Whatever feels good. Enjoy the movement, the closeness to the earth with the hands and the feet. Lovely. When you're ready, everyone lift the hips to the sky. Just briefly look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, big step back to plank. Hold for a moment. Feel strong. Feel connected through the hands, through the toes. Push the floor away. Yogi's choice, knees or chaturanga. Listen to your body. You're coming halfway or all the way down into your cobra or up dog. And then exhale to your down dog or tabletop child's pose. Whatever feels good before we low lunge on the left. Okay, wherever you are, down dog, tabletop, move the left leg. Same as the right one, but again, do what feels good. What does your left leg want to do this morning? Do you need to ease the hip out a little bit more? Do you take that ankle a few more times? It's a nice thing about a self-practice. You're really getting to know your body and move in ways that feel good in the morning. Before the day begins, before it starts to pick up what the day is going to give you. Metaphorically, Okay, once that leg's had a little bit of movement, look forward, space between the hands, left foot comes through. Exactly the same, just hang out here a little bit. Move forwards and backwards. Low lunge to kind of half pyramid. How's the breath? Inhale forward. Exhale back. Then a little bit of stillness. 5 breaths in your lunge position. A version that works for you this morning. You might want to keep the hands down. And make sure or think about how your hips are. It's really easy for the front foot, that hip, to kind of swing forward. Can you hug it back? We're bringing the right hip forward. We're really feeling a nice stretch through the front of the right hip. Couple more breaths here. Okay, hands down. Inside the front foot, so heel toe it out a touch. Back knee can lift if you want to. 3 of those twists. Inhale to reach up. Stack shoulders. Exhale to ease down. Enjoy these. Good. On that last one, you know what's coming. We're going to turn the toes out a touch and we're going to find a second yogi squat. So nice big step up. And this time you might be a little bit more still. If you were still on the first time, maybe you're moving a little bit more. We've been twisting this morning. So sometimes it's nice to reach one arm forward and one arm back in your yogi squat. Or you could use the diagonals maybe. Just spend a few breaths exploring stillness or movement. When you're ready, hands down, hips high. Square off the feet, and let's take a little dangle here, or more active, hook the toes, hold the backs of the knees. I don't mind. Weight forward, head heavy, hips high. Okay, listen carefully, bend the knees, sweep the arms. You come into like a version of chair. I like to take my chair nice and wide so my kind of feet stay hip width, but traditional vibes if you want, you just come a little bit narrower into Utkatasana or you're just a little bit lower. Arms can be forward or they can be by the ears. Your version this morning. How's the breath? I find this pose wakes up the whole body. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. On 1, extend the whole body, full stretch. First time we've stood up, from all that lying down to where we are now. And I like to hook the thumbs here, go from side to side again. Or anything else that feels good. Maybe you're just standing, maybe you're pressing hands to the low back and just looking up to the sky. And then when you're ready, bend the knees, sweep the arms, we're back in that chair pose just for a few moments. If you can, you're going to descend all the way down. Don't worry if there's a little moment where you're like, whoops, I'm going to tip back. Just use your hands to help you. Kick your heels out. So we're now seated. Lean back. Open through the chest. If it feels nice to soften the knees and swish whilst you lean back. Little windscreen wiper movement. Good, really nice. Let's take the right ankle over to the left thigh. Figure 4. And again, I like to move in my figure 4. It's quite nice to sway here. But you might find stillness. You might sit uprightly be a little bit more active. When you're ready, switch it out. If you need a little cycle or a little bit of movement of the legs in between. Left ankle, right thigh. How's the breath? How's the mind? When we start to wind down towards the end of the practice, it's really easy for the mind to start entering into our day. Stay close to the breath, even more so for these last few moments. When you're ready, release out of that. And anything you need to do before we just come to a seated butterfly, so soles of the feet together, knees nice and wide. Your version of this, heels might be quite far away or they might be quite close towards you. If it doesn't feel good, just come to easy seat, Sukhasana. Sit up nice and tall, and we're just going to take 10 breaths here. Some of you might want to forward fold and kind of bow out the practice with those 10 breaths. Again, leave the decision to what your body feels it wants to do. But just take a moment to close the eyes, settle down. Nice long exhale wherever you are. Then breathing in and breathing out. Leave you to do 9 more conscious breaths. And like I said, this really is the most important part of your practice, the beginning and the end. Checking in at the beginning, seeing how you're feeling, listening to what's coming up so you can practice with intention and kindness. And then this moment right now, just before you go into your day, what can you take from the practice? How can you remain focused or intentional with your time for the rest of the day? Yoga really teaches us how to be true to ourselves. So with each inhale, really think about how you're going to go about the rest of the day. And then with each exhale, fulfill that intention. Take action today in the ways you want to. Wherever you are with your breath, let's all take one final big breath in. And as you breathe out, maybe chin comes to chest, or you might bow forward a little bit more. Just closing out the practice, little sign of gratitude for showing up this morning, for rolling out your mat. Well done, everyone. Nice to see you. Have a great Sunday. Good job. Now it's 7 a.m. tomorrow, which will be interesting if you're staying up to watch the England match. So yeah, might be a little bit more sleepy in the morning, but we'll stick to it. Let's see how we go. Bye. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Have fun. Lovely. Bye, everyone. Right.